What is up, everyone? I'm Ryan from Fireside Yankees, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about how far the Yankees should be willing to go to keep Aaron Judge. Now, Aaron Judge is obviously the best player on this team. He is a guy that has been, a great representative, a great face of the franchise ever since he's been called up. He's put together remarkable seasons. He put together, I think, the best season since Prime Barry Bonds, and he's a remarkable player. I mean, there are a few players who can do what he can do. And he's simply one of a kind. He's simply one of the most talented hitters we've ever seen from the right-handed side of the plate. And that's not me saying this as a Yankee fan. This is me saying this in terms of, based off of statistics we have from the modern era. But with that being said, before we get into things, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out Fireside Yankees on Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. And of course, make sure to check out Empire Sports Media for all your New York sports content. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. And let's start off with talking about Aaron Judge's power. I've talked about Aaron Judge's power on my Twitter before, calling it generational. And I do stand by that claim. I think Aaron Judge's power is something that no player in modern baseball right now can lay claim to. He has the highest average exit velocity, the highest barrel rate, the highest hard hit rate. Out of all players that are currently in the StatCast era, he also happens to be first in home runs to fly balls. So he simply has an incredible amount of power that many players just cannot replicate, right? So we don't know how that's going to age. We don't know if that gets a lot worse over time. But what I do know is that Aaron Judge is always going to have elite power. He's got a big frame, a big body. He's got a great swing. He's always adjusting. He's always getting better. And this is a guy who I really do think has that level of power that very few players can lay claim to. There's a reason he broke the American League home run record. There's a reason he has 220 home runs in under 800 games. There's a reason he's slugging 583 in his career. There's a reason why he's such a great player. There's a reason why a lot of teams are going to go out and try to give him a lot of money. And I do think the Yankees should be willing to give him a lot of money as well. A lot of people are going to point to the signs of, well, he's going to be 31 next year. And I'll point to a couple of things that I think are going to age well. Number one is the arm. His arm strength actually got better from 2021. He started throwing the ball harder. He reached his highest max throw velocity ever recorded, which we have StatCast data of arm strength since 2020. And then on top of all of this, Aaron Judge is not a range-based defender. He's very much a defender that relies upon good routes, good bursts, good reactions, not a guy who relies on ridiculous athleticism or, just raw speed. So Aaron Judge's speed has actually gotten worse between 2021 and 2022, but his outs above average got significantly better. His arm remains really elite. So, ultimately keeping him in right field, not putting him in center field long-term is going to keep him really good defensively. I still think he's going to be a 2 to 3 outs above average type defender. And ultimately, that type of defensive value is going to be positive. It could be even more than that, honestly, in right field, playing there full time. But ultimately, the defense is something that should age well because he relies on things that aren't speed and athleticism. He relies on things like just having a great arm and making good reads and being a smart outfielder. And, those are things that age very well defensively in terms of, having great defensive IQ and having, a really strong arm. And then as for his offense, we talked about his generational power, but he's also one of the better guys in terms of plate discipline. Aaron Judge doesn't chase very much. He had 22.4% out of zone swing rate, which is really low. His swinging strike rate has dipped a lot since, his 2017 to 2020 days. From 2017 to 2020, he had a 13.8% swinging strike rate and a 30.5% called strike plus whiff rate. And in 2021 and 2022, he has an 11.6% swinging strike rate and a 28.5% called strike plus whiff percentage. So he's whiffing less. He's less of a strikeout threat. And while I don't think Aaron Judge is someone that strikes out too much or ever struck out too much, I do believe that Aaron Judge having better plate discipline is going to allow him to have more batted ball events. And when he has such a high barrel rate and such a great swing, it's going to lead to a lot of success. Aaron Judge last year kind of found something. He found, his barrel rates again. He found, being able to just absolutely demolish the baseball. And in that second half, he looked great. And down the stretch, he was phenomenal. He was clutch for the Yankees. He was everything the Yankees needed him to be. And while I don't think that 2022 was his true talent level, I think it's insane to say anyone's true talent level is a 207 WRC plus and 11.4 FWAR with 62 home runs. I do think that true talent level falls somewhere in between there in that 160 to 165 WRC plus range and a 6 to 7 WAR player. So a 6 to 7 WAR player for the next 2 to 3 years is going to give you about 20 to 20. Is going to give you 14 to 21 WAR right there. I do believe that he's going to be a 6 to 7 win player for the next 3 years. So let's just say 20 WAR. He's going to put up 20 WAR over the next 3 years. I think that's a fair projection for him, considering just how talented he is, how great of a hitter he is, how good of a defender he still is. And when you put all those things together, if you look at the contract Aaron Judge would like, you're looking at $330 million roughly. That's somewhere in between that ballpark range Jeff Passan had mentioned, and other really notable, really credible sources have mentioned. If $330 is the range we're looking at here, Aaron Judge needs to put around roughly 35 to 40 WAR. And if you're going to get about 50% of that WAR value in the first 2 to 3 years, and the other years, the other 5 or 6 years on that deal is the remaining 20 WAR, which you have that spaced out. He doesn't have to average that much WAR. He has to just hover a little bit under 4 WAR in order for him to meet, 40 WAR. He'll not only go into the Hall of Fame because he'll have 76.1 wins above replacement, which is a lock to be a Hall of Famer, but he'll also have met his contract value. And again, Aaron Judge is someone that doesn't have to stay on the field in terms of being a defensive player for the entirety of that contract. By the time Aaron Judge is 36, Giancarlo Stanton has a club option. The Yankees can decline it. I imagine they will. It's $22 million. He hasn't stayed healthy. I love Stanton, but unless he's having monster DH seasons, I just have a hard time imagining they're going to pick up the option. And that allows that allows Judge to move to the DH spot more often. We've looked at guys like Nelson Cruz age very well when left in the DH spot to just go out and mash. We've seen guys like JD Martinez, who are in their mid to late 30s, put up some pretty strong seasons despite the fact that they're a little bit older in their age. And the difference between those guys and Judge is that those guys have never really been great defensive players, whereas Aaron Judge has been. So Judge can still provide you value on the field. It's not like he's going to be a full-time DH, but as he gets older, as the Yankees have more young talent, they can move him towards the DH spot and just allow him to be, one of the best, if not the best DH in baseball at that point in time. Well, probably not because of Alvarez and maybe Ohtani, but in terms of just being a great hitter, Aaron Judge is going to give you incredible value at that spot, the DH spot. So ultimately, I don't see a reason for the Yankees not to bring back Aaron Judge on a lucrative contract. I do think Aaron Judge is going to make up the WAR for that lucrative contract. I know a lot of people are going to sit here and say WAR isn't everything, and I do agree. I do think WAR, just looking at players and ranking them by WAR, is foolish. I think that leaves a lot of oversights. It doesn't account for volume. It doesn't account for your peak. It doesn't account for how great you were at a certain point in time or whether you were a compiler or not. But Aaron Judge is not going to have an opportunity here to compile. He only has about, a little under a decade left in the league. I don't think he's going to get, a more than a decade on his contract. And ultimately, the Yankees are going to be looking at a player who changed their franchise and without Aaron Judge are going to be lost. They're not going to have that star player, that franchise guy. A lot of players in the Yankees, rally around having Aaron Judge there. I don't imagine Anthony Rizzo will want to return if they don't have Aaron Judge. And if he does want to return, I don't know if he's going to be as keen to. You know what I mean? Look at guys on the free agent market, right? If you have Aaron Judge on the Yankees, why not go play with Aaron Judge and get a big time contract from the Yankees or even a medium contract from the Yankees to go play with a guy like Aaron Judge? Those are special things. Aaron Judge definitely has pull in that clubhouse. You have a chance to name your future captain. And I know a lot of people are going to mention Aaron Judge doesn't have a ring. How can you name him captain? Don Mattingly never won a World Series. He was still named captain, and rightfully so. I'm not saying that the Yankees shouldn't care about winning World Series titles, but it's not Aaron Judge's fault they don't have a World Series title. It's a lot of different people's faults. And I'm not saying Judge hasn't played a role in it. Judge didn't have a great postseason this year, and that played a huge factor into why they didn't go on into the World Series. But you know what? Ultimately, I have faith in Aaron Judge. I have faith in his talent. I look at a guy like 2007 Alex Rodriguez. He puts together a monster year, wins the MVP, has a terrible postseason. Had the Yankees just let him go, where are we looking at for a drought since 2001, right? The Yankees don't have a World Series since 2001 without Alex Rodriguez. So you have to bank on great talent, even when the postseason resume isn't the best, because that's what will get you through a postseason. Bryce Harper, is putting up a monster postseason. Jeremy Pena, Kyle Tucker, Yordan Alvarez, these are the type of players, Kyle Schwarber, that when they get going, they can carry a team, put them on their back. And Aaron Judge is better than all those players, in my opinion, at least. Maybe not better than Bryce Harper, but I would put him above Bryce Harper right now, just because of the defensive value. So, again, Aaron Judge is a franchise-altering player. Aaron Judge is one of the best hitters of our generation. Aaron Judge is the greatest power threat of the StatCast era. And Aaron Judge should remain a Yankee. And that number should look somewhere between $330, $340 million. I would feel a little weird about giving him $350 million, but, I don't think a lot of teams are going to be giving him $350 million. So ultimately, I look at a 9-year, 8-year, $330, $340 million deal as a deal I'd be willing to give Aaron Judge. I think it fits both parties. I think the Yankees are getting exactly what they're going to pay for. I think they're going to maybe even get a little bit more in terms of off the field value. And remember, contracts depreciate over time, just like a car or just like a fixed interest rate. When the average annual salary doesn't go up with inflation of contracts, then that money actually means less to you, or that impacts you less financially. So we don't know what the landscape of the financials for Major League Baseball is going to look like in 9 years. So maybe Aaron Judge looks like a bargain, or maybe Aaron Judge just doesn't look like a monster contract the same way that other contracts are. And ultimately, that's what gives me a lot of confidence that this is going to be a good contract for the Yankees. So again, Yankees, go give Aaron Judge big money. And go give Aaron Judge big money. And for Yankee fans, feel confident in Aaron Judge to get big money and go out and perform, because it's the guy who's done it, for the Yankees for, almost 7 years now. So he's got some of the best numbers in Yankees history. He's got some of the best numbers in his era. He's one of the greatest StatCast monsters we'll ever see. And I think the Yankees are foolish if they don't bring back Aaron Judge, regardless of the price. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm Ryan Garcia from Fireside Yankees. Thank you guys for your continued support. Like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to check out Fireside Yankees on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Make sure to check out my Twitter page at Ryan Garcia ESM. And of course, check out Empire Sports Media for all your New York sports content. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.